Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This is going to be my boss battle prep guide. There's a couple things with this boss make me slightly nervous. The boosts are combined in two different spots, so they're here where you normally would see them, but they're also in the scouting lineup. So if you missed any of the scouting lineups, you potentially are not going to do as well. Also, this is the first time we've had like big boosts in the scouting lineup. So I'm slightly not 100% sure how I generally kind of napkin math calculate will be as accurate as always. So I'm making some educated guesses, assumptions, what I think is the case. Talk to Slim a little bit. He also thinks it's the case, but I'm not going to swear to it. Don't think he probably would either, but so with that out of the way, that's different. Also on this boss, there is no shield, which is very interesting. So the boss is going to do his normal damage per turn. Then there's no shield. What you are getting is a freeze move that throws 35 silence gems on the board. So most of the board will be covered, with 35 gems. That leaves what? 14 slots open. So a lot of your board will be covered. And then there's the freeze. So unfreeze is going to be the breaker you need to bring. Healer Steel will also be great because the boss is going to heal. And then he also does damage per silence gems on the board. You know, it is what it is. It's extra damage. It's not like super crazy though. It's an extra 4 million. So you're basically going to get hit for 17 million a turn. So if you're going to go very long, you're definitely going to need some kind of healing or the block damage in aggressive, right? So defensive with the healing or aggressive with the block damage skill. So your boosts, your combined power gem boost is, what's this, 300% here. And down here we have 150%. So you're getting a 450% power gem boost, which I think is going to be very significant. That is the buff, by the way. That's going to... The primary buff. I'm sorry, guys. It's early. Had a lot going on trying to get this out. Brain isn't working as well as it could. So that's your primary buff. Like your best damage dealers are all going to be power gem people, which is a very different change to a lot of bosses. Yeah, so let's kind of dig into this. Botch, there's no one with botch I would bring at all. And blue is only 200%. So they're going to be like more of a secondary thing if you don't happen to have a good power gem user. Again, there's no shield. So really it's all power gem people for damage. There's other things you can do, and I'll mention a few of them, but the focus is going to be on the power gem people this one. Okay? So the biggest damage actually will be surprising, I think, to most people. The top two are kind of pretty interesting. Yeah, so let's just dive in. I'm enough talking here. So let's just go here and start with at Brutus should be the best damage, again, at aggressive. So if you have, oops, that's not Brutus. If you have Brutus at gold or want to take him gold, he should be fantastic, right? I would run him this way. Right here. If you don't have mellow, that's fine. You just use woods, right? Woods is fine. The only reason mellow's there is so you can get the choose again if you need to. But honestly, guys, you're not going to want to do a lot of moves. To be honest, the less moves, the better. So with this setup, you're making 39 power gems, right? And they're pretty big. His base power gem is bigger than this. I obviously don't have him leveled up. So it's already 268k here at bronze, so it's going to be bigger at gold. So, but Brutus should be the best in this category, and he should do approximately about 175 million a swipe. So literally, you can just throw out this move and then just start swiping. At 178 million with one move, I don't know how many swipes you guys think you can get in one turn of boss. 10? 8? So that's going to add up really fast, really fast. And honestly, he's probably going to hit harder than that. But just, you know, plan on, like, I say 175 million, but mine isn't gold, so, and I didn't look up the numbers. He could easily be doing like 225 million-ish, but just plan on like 175. You start swiping and that damage is just going to ramp up super fast. And this is why power gem people are going to be really good here. So he's should be the best at I mean, I might have missed somebody, to be fair, but he should be the best probably at aggressive. Number 2, I would say, would be Leo, Seth. He can start with all power gem trainers. You can hit this move, which fills this move, and then hit this, which fills this. But that's 3 moves before you start swiping is the downside. And then you can run all of the power gem trainers, like in every slot, literally. So you could do this. And then he would be doing after the 3 moves, so it takes him a little while to get loaded, about 150 million a swipe, right? So pretty good. Pretty good. And then the other one that I had, like, I'm kind of, after like 3, I'm kind of not going too far on like showing some possible setups and stuff, was Hall of Fame Ron. He's kind of interesting, because he's another one-click one right here with just this one. And if you have his gear, he'll hit harder than I'm going to talk about. He also has the moment, which adds 100%. So you can run all the power gem trainers here as well, which would be the same ones you just saw in Leo, right? Same exact trainer setup as Leo. You just hit this move and then just start swiping. You don't really care about putting more out. You're just swiping. And he should go for about, if you have the moment, 125 million a swipe. If you also have his gear, let me try this. I wrote that down here somewhere. If you also have his gear, it's probably about 100 in both gears, probably about 175 million a swipe ish. So then he's like right up there with Leo and with Brutus. But in his case, he can throw him just one move and start swiping, just like Brutus, right? So Hall of Fame Ron, potential sleeper pick here if you have all this stuff. So pretty good. That's honestly who I'm going to use, because he's the one I have gold, right? And then as far as like honorable mention, you got Sammy, who can make blues and do decent damage, but not on the level these power gem people are with the boost. And same thing with JD McDonough. They both can grow the damage, so the longer the fight goes, the better they'll do. So those would be kind of like the non-power gem honorable mentions. You could also use Brett, Vader, you know, Brett and Vader as well would be honorable mentions behind that, but those first 3 I mentioned are much better. So that kind of takes care of chaotic. Now, aggressive has what should be, by what I think, the best by far power gem user. That's actually going to be Penta. He should be the best in the entire game for this boss. Really, you're just using one move, the knife edge chop. So what it does is it's a juggernaut gem, and you throw 2 random ones out. And it makes each swipe gives you one swipe gives you 3 power gems, so you get 6 power gems out of it, right? And they're all strength 1,000,000 base to start, which is really big, but also you are getting another 1,000,000 to that base, with because each one is adding 500,000 to their strength on the second swipe. So once you swipe twice, you're at full strength. right? And then your base is 1.5 million on the power gems. So 2 swipes, and now each one is at 1.5, and you have 6 out there. But if you have Goldberg, right, and you can run this setup here with, I saved the loadout. Now you're getting 9 at 9 gems at 2.5 million base, right? So quite large. Actually, is it 2.5? Give me a second. It's 3 gems. They're 1 million each. You get 1.5 extra here. So they'd be 2.5. Let me have this. Why did I have this number wrong? Is that right? Make 3 gems. Yes, I have my 2 numbers wrong on Penta that I had starting my bad napkin math off of. Let me adjust this real quick. Maybe Penta's the second best this way. Maybe he's the second best. Probably. So that should do about 300 million a swipe. So Penta's probably actually the second best. I had my initial number written down wrong. Bad Mherex. Bad Mherex. You're bad. And then 2. He should be like 2. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you should do like 300 million that way per swipe. And if you don't have Goldberg, you can go with like a power gem trainer instead, a 50%er. And then you're going to do a significant amount less, but still pretty dang good, to be honest, since it's just 1 gem and you can go. Without Goldberg, about 200 million if you put Hall of Fame Nikki in instead, right? But the nice thing about Penta, again, just 1 move, 2 swipes, you're fully grown, and then you're going. Second, I'm going to change it to second best. Sorry. Penta will be the second best in the game. Number 1 will be in Chaotic when we get there. But about 300 million a swipe, so like Penta should just churn through the boss. I think Penta will be able to solo carry, to be honest, or very close, as long as people are bringing some help. And this, again, depends on if the boss reads the way I think it is. Next here is going to be Batista. Right here. Nice thing about Batista, 4 MP Juggernaut move. He also grows the strength. Choose 2 gems to make into 2-turn Juggernaut gems. 8 random gems into power gems, and then he increases the strength, right? So Batista here, I think, if I did this right in my head, which who knows, he only needs 4 MP to start, which is the great news. So you should be using, if you have it, this setup. Of course, this boss, your mileage is going to vary greatly depending on if you have Turtle Ray or not. All these calculations are with Turtle Ray. You can see it's 200%. He's massive. If you don't have Turtle Ray, you won't be doing nearly as well. But this way with Batista, you can just put your Juggernaut gem out, your 2, and then start swiping. And then just like Penta, he's going to grow the damage after 2 swipes and be at max strength. Also, just like Penta, you can swap Bella around for Goldberg. A lot of people won't have Goldberg though, right? So you can do that. But Batista without should be doing about 185, 190 million once after 2 swipes. That's without Goldberg. With Goldberg, that's going to put him up almost into that Penta category. Not quite, but very close. You'd swap Nikki out. You go to here, 5. And then you're going to have 24 gems. And you're going to get... Yeah, he'd be probably getting up into that Penta range, close to 300 million, right in there. So Batista, also very, very good. he has the choose to put more out. Honestly, guys, I wouldn't worry about that. Your best case scenario is just drop and swipe, because then you don't have to think. It's fast. You just swipe, 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 right? So Penta and Batista there. I don't know that had anyone like worth like being whatever, but some honorable mentions. Bam Bam, he takes too long to get ramped up though. JBL will hit hard. He's got a big power gem increase, but it's a ton of choosing. So again, gonna take forever to get ramped up. Same thing with Drew. So they're honorable mentions for me. And then always you got Powerhouse Hogan, who can grow the damage. But honestly, Batista probably will come close to being able to solo carry. A couple Batistas would probably do it. Again, this is assuming the calculations go the way I think, and you're gonna see a big variance. Not all players necessarily do well with having to put gems out and then just swipe really fast. It's a different, sometimes a little bit different kind of way to play. So some people may struggle with this kind of boss, because you have to, you know, match gems, and we don't do that a lot in our game. So so I guess the best is probably going to be Swoggle, because I had my initial Penta thoughts wrong. So Swoggle should be the best. Really, you're just going to use the Swoggle stretch. The sub, he leaves 18 gems at a really huge base of 900,000. So it's just the sub, and then you're going to go. It's 4 MP, so you can just use Lawler and then all of the power gem trainers. All right, so you just run him like this, and he should, after the sub, you should be able to swipe to the tune of about 350, 375 million, somewhere in there ish. Again, assuming you have these trainers. So Swoggle is Swoggle and Penta are my top two. My top three would be Swoggle, Penta, Batista. Those would be my top three. So there's that. So pretty straightforward. Just hit the sub and just start swiping. You don't care about refilling. Just swipe as much as you can, and he should burn the boss down really fast. Again, that's assuming the bonuses work the way I think they're gonna. Yeah. So he's my number one pick at Chaotic. After that, it falls off rapidly. You can run like OTC if you want with the power gems. He can it's 4 and 3 charge, so he'll take a while to get set up. Again, with the 3 charge, you just be using black MP here, and then the normal trainers here, right, that we've been seeing in all of these. You're going to choose one column, then you're going to do the 1x3, choose another column. Basically, one column on Roman is going to give you about 55 million, so he's going to take a while to set up. So not fast enough, right? But you can add a column out after you do this move each time. But it's just going to take too long to build, so he won't be great. He will be extra damage, though. So there's that. And then just a few, let's get back in here, honorable mentions here of other people. You got Kofi. Turtle Kofi should do pretty solid here. And then for blue, you got Terry Funk, which if you have the moments and all the stuff for Funk, he will hit pretty solid, right? Pretty solid. Even with only a 200% boost, Funk should hit pretty hard. With blue, if you got like the blue LA Knight plate and that kind of stuff, so he'll do pretty decent. So that would kind of be my honorable mention pick there. Again, not really deep here. If you don't have like Kofi leveled up, OTC, Swoggle, just use your best person you can grow the damage with. You know, like a Julius, Jay, Hall of Fame Goldberg, right? Anybody like that would be a decent secondary damage dealer. And then we come to defensive, and basically defensive, Dom and DDP are kind of basically identical for damage output. You're probably looking at around 100-ish million a swipe, depending what you have. DDP can go higher if you have like his gear for the MP boost, and if you have the moment, go a little bit higher. But you're going to get about 100 million a swipe. With Dom, I just put out the 3 rows and start swiping and then not worry about it, to be honest. And that would be, again, Mellow or Woods, and then, you know, the standard 3 trainers we've seen the whole way. And same thing with DDP, except you're using Yellow for him. And they're about 100 million a swipe. So again, you can see there's just a lot of really good options everywhere for damage. And then after that, for like honorable mentions, Rock. What the, you know, final boss Rock can leave some power gems. Not great, but not terrible. So he'll be an honorable mention. And then if you don't have any of those at gold, somebody like Dick Kick Cena, who can 2-click and grow his gem damage with the green, would be what I would go. But you know, preferably you're going like the route of like Dom or DDP. Hopefully you have one of those guys gold. Again, Breaker and healing might be important if you don't win turn 1. Although I do honestly think, guys, initially I thought, wow, these boosts aren't that good. This boss is gonna kind of be hard. But just looking at all the pretty big power gem people, and not any of them are like incredibly rare. Of the really big ones, Swoggle's kind of rare for sure, but like almost as good is gonna be Batista. Right, and then Penta's kind of rare, but again, almost as good is Batista. So you got that. Hall of Fame Ron's fairly rare. Brutus isn't rare, and there's just good power gems in every style. So as long as people are bringing people that can do damage, you should be good. But defensively, Helping Hand, if you're going more than a few turns, that'll get you healed up. The focus slot, of course, very important, is going to be Unfreeze. Every team should have an Unfreeze. You know, you're better off giving up some damage to have Unfreeze to keep it safe. So honestly, I'll probably just end up using my Cody and put him in one of his recycling builds, like what is it, green blue or something? Not green blue. This way, so he can recycle. Just to do a little bit of damage, right, and grow the gem damage a little bit as he goes, but it won't be fast. But I'll just bring Unfreeze in this slot, to be honest, and then the rest will be, you know, Penta for me, Swoggle, and I might mess with Batista some too, just for funsies. So I don't think it'll be too hard. Aggressive, again, if you're gonna bring a breaker, Exhaust is the play, right? Not necessarily needed. I don't think you guys should be going much more than two turns deep, but if you don't have a great team around you, or maybe your faction doesn't have a bunch of big guys, then you can run an aggressive, you can run a healer, and somebody should have a decent power gem card, and you guys should be able to kind of just chew through it. So my lineup will actually look something like this, potentially. Although I don't have a striker promoter, right? So it'll honestly probably look like this, because our faction shouldn't have a problem carrying. And this way I can have everybody like with the promoter and get a few more of those faction points in, you know? So, yeah. Because your currency gives you faction points, so it'll help the faction that way. The nice thing with power gems, you don't need straps, you don't need crazy plates. I wouldn't worry about putting more gems out. Again, just get your gems down and swipe and do your stuff, you know? So, again, I think it's very interesting. The downside to this boss is last month they said the A tier was going to be the focus, and Bundy is pretty much straight up garbage for this boss. So that blog was completely inaccurate. There's nothing Bundy does well enough. Also, they screwed up. He doesn't get double hardcore because he's double hardcore against a focused. And the new character, I don't believe, is focused. Kamala, I thought he was... Yeah, he's chaotic. So you don't even get the double hardcore, and even if you did, Bundy wouldn't be good enough. So Bundy really should have had power gems, or the boss should have focused on something he had, or his... he's actually really lackluster A. Nothing came out this month to make him better. So he's a pretty big disappointment after the A's we've had. So that's a miss from last month, where they released the blog, and Boss Man was so good on the boss, and they said going forward, the A tier would be the focus around boss. That changed really quick. So gonna call Scopely out on their BS there, because that wasn't even remotely accurate. Maybe it was a miss on their part, maybe it was intentional. I guess we'll find out next month. But Bundy was a complete and total not accurate to last month's blog, saying the A tier would be focused on. I haven't even leveled mine. I'm not gonna level mine till there's a talent up, just enough to get through the tours for his like victory tour kind of thing. So that's about it. Yeah, overall it shouldn't be a bad boss. I hope you guys found this prep guide useful. Sorry it's so late. New character yesterday, ton going on. The week long was long. I just didn't get to where I wanted it. Basically, to recap, Swoggle won, and then you got like Penta should be really strong, and Batista should be really strong, along with all the other stuff, guys. So it should be a good boss. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hopefully you found this helpful, and remember to like, subscribe, and share, because that really helps me out. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Good luck out there. Oh, boss prep guide. I'm glad I got that done. Time kind of snuck up on me on this one, guys.